We want to talk about X factors here. We want to go through some teams. And, Key, we want to hear your thoughts. I think these came from Bleacher Report, but I'd like to hear your thoughts. But, I think, first of all, let's start with Chicago, the Bears, because, everything is centered around Justin Fields and whether or not he should start. Obviously, Coach already said no, he wasn't. But Bleacher Report says Robert Quinn. They went the defensive side of the football. They said he's the biggest X factor for the Bears this year. What do you think?
I think so. I understand the Justin Fields situation, but when you think about Robert Quinn, you think about the defensive side of the ball, and Khalil Mack and those guys over there, you got to think that is the way that they're going to win football games, whether it's Justin Fields or whether it's Andy Dandy Dalton starting at quarterback. Because this is not a throw the ball all over the lot type team. This is a ball control team and a defensive-oriented team. That is how you win games, especially if Aaron Rodgers is not in the division. Robert Quinn can do some things defensively, can clearly free up the defensive side of the ball, allow Khalil Mack to get back to his MVP ways on the defensive side of the ball if he's doing his job. If he's not, now you can concentrate solely on Khalil Mack.
When Quinn left Miami and came to the Cowboys, you know how much I love the Cowboys. He was a baller. He had a great year for the Cowboys. I was hoping they would re-sign him. It's a good pickup for Chicago, and I thought interesting. Speaking of the Cowboys, Bleacher Report says Zeke Elliott, the biggest X factor for Dallas. There's been all kinds of reports in the offseason that he's having the best offseason ever. He's slimmer. He's been working out. What do you think?
Since we're going to stay with the players on the field and not the coaches, I would say Dan Quinn, if we were talking about coaches involved in this as an X factor, because the defense was so poor that they needed to fire the defensive coordinator to bring a new guy in. But Zeke Elliott is the guy. When you think about what he's capable of doing with that offensive line healthy, with Dak Prescott healthy, now you open up a lot of different things. You get 8 and 9 men outside the box. Now you get a chance to gash them up the field, opposed to allowing them to sit back because the running game is stale. I think if he could stay healthy, stay in shape, stay out of the clubs, and stop messing around and concentrate on playing football, Ezekiel Elliott could have an MVP-type season.
Stay out of the club.
Stay out the clubs, man. I ain't got no problem with telling. I'll tell Zeke to his face. He know that.
Yeah.
Every time I see him, you need a different conversation. But
right.
I tell him, man, stay your butt out the club.
Yeah.
Man.
Now, I'm happy you talked about the defense because for me, when I look at the defense and listen, I know a lot of people in Dallas will say DeMarcus Lawrence. But how about Randy Gregory? Because this is a guy who played in only 10 games, didn't start at all, had more quarterback hits, pressures than any lineman on the Cowboys defense last season. For a guy not starting, only played in 10 games, and they said he's had a great offseason this year. They're expecting big things. I would like to see Randy Gregory do some big things for the Cowboys.
Gregory is a guy that you could use as an X factor, but it's the secondary is their problem on defense more so than the front.
Yep.
Lawrence and Gregory and those guys up front, Jalen Smith, they're fine. They're good. The secondary was poor. Mm-hmm. So if you address the secondary and get those guys to play, and Dan Quinn on the defensive side as the defensive coordinator putting schemes together, the Cowboys are going to be it's going to be a hard out. I know a lot of people every single year, we pick the Cowboys because we get all excited about it, and they're America's team, and they're always on television, and they're on ESPN, highlight after highlight, and Stephen A's poking fun at them when they lose. I think this is truly the year that they could be very successful and go a long ways.
All right, I'd like to hear that. All right, so let's talk about the Packers. Jordan Love, according to Bleacher Report, X Factor, we think.
I mean, he's going to have to be the X Factor. The real X Factor is at home somewhere, and that's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
But he's got to be the X Factor. He's being forced into the lineup as of right now. He knows it. And look, they have a Super Bowl-ready team. One of the things that I've always said, Brian, when you look at Super Bowl-ready teams, quarterback is extremely important to not screw it up. And when you're young, all you got to do is dink and dunk. Don't turn the ball over. Hand the ball off to the running back. Allow your defense to play. This team went to 2 NFC Championship games with Aaron Rodgers underneath the center. If they could have some success with him throwing the football offensively, they still got Devontae Adams and Lazard. They went out and got Amari Rodgers from Clemson, a young player. They still got Aaron Jones in the backfield. They still got a solid offensive line and a good tight end. It's not like you remove Aaron Rodgers from a bad football team. you're removing Aaron Rodgers from a damn good football team, and you're inserting a young quarterback into the lineup. Think about the New York Jets when they went to 2 straight AFC championship games. Mark Sanchez wasn't asked to do a whole lot.
Right, yep.
And I think you could do the same things in Green Bay if, in fact, they can't convince Aaron Rodgers, which I don't think they will, to come in and play. Even though, Evan, he renewed his golf membership.
Oh, okay. Look at Key.
Must be a nice course.
Must be a nice course in Green Bay.
Right, exactly. How about the Raiders? They say, Bleacher Report, Henry Ruggs, and all I think about them playing the Jets last year, down at the very end of the game, all of a sudden, Carr throws a bomb.
Jets is stupid, though, man.
Touchdown Ruggs.
The Jets, they Greg Williams, that's why they.
Yeah, and that's why he got fired, exactly.
Yeah, that didn't even make any sense.
But
Henry Ruggs is a player that needs to step up. He had about 30 catches last year as a rookie. You give him a bit of a pass in that situation. He's a home run hitter, a deep threat, one of the fastest guys in the National Football League, can certainly play. But I wouldn't consider him their X factor. I would consider Carr the X factor because the Raiders are only going to go so far as Carr takes them. And I think when you think about John Gruden, the frustration that sets in with his quarterbacks, he's never satisfied. And for Derek Carr's sake, I hope he has a good year because I'd like to see him finish his career and not retire early because he's not in Las Vegas.
What about the Rams? They say Matthew Stafford.
And Matthew Stafford is the X factor because we went out, we spent a lot of draft picks to go get him. He was 0-3 lifetime in Detroit in the playoffs. Yeah. You're the guy. Mm-hmm. We replaced a Super Bowl appearing quarterback with you.
Yeah, you're right.